Hey, singers. I had a great question from one of my clients this weekend, and I wanted to bring it to you because I think it's pretty good information. My client asked, "What is the breather?" It's that little device that you may have seen showing up on your feed that helps exercise the inhalation, the exhalation of your lungs. And if not that, what other breathing tool should I use to strengthen my breathing and my diaphragm? I think those are excellent questions. And frankly, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are so many items on the market right now that we practically have our pick. So let's go over those. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Dr. Catherine Parsley, the practice coach. I help classical and opera singers rewrite their inner critic's script, beat stupid singer syndrome, and learn to practice today for their amazing future career. So let's talk about breathing in the practice room. Your teachers asked you or told you, really, that your breathing needs improvement and maybe given you a list of exercises to work on, or maybe not. Maybe they've discussed the anatomy of what's happening with the breath, or maybe not. Point is that your sound would improve, probably, maybe, with better breath support. And that's what your teacher wants for you. And that's what you want for you. And that's what I want for you. So why not take a look at some really neat contraptions to help do exactly that? Now, the first thing I'm going to show you, ah, watch a millennial try to work the internet. Hey, here we go. This is the breather. This is what I was asked about. This is what you may have seen show up on your feed. The breather is, as you can see, it has an independent dial system and comes in two colors, blue and pink. And the idea is that you will inhale, you will select the from the dial how much resistance you want and work on your inhalation that way. Then you can blow out through the same machine, and on the other side, pick the other dial and choose your resistance for the exhale. Pretty excellent as far as tools for that go. Comes in two colors, and there are me kicking my equipment. There are reviews and some really interesting information. Nowhere, though, do I find what the exact dials mean. This is the closest that I come to any sort of information on what the actual resistance is, but that's certainly interesting in and of itself. The price range I've seen for these is anywhere from 24 to 47. So this is the highest price I've seen on this. So if this is something you're interested in, maybe check Amazon. Something very similar came up while I was doing some research. It's called the Power Lung for better breathing. This one comes in at a pricey $120, but has four different models, from the Airstream, which from what I can tell has the lightest resistance, to the Trainer, which has the heaviest resistance, the greatest resistance for our lungs. If this is something you're interested in, there are four different styles. I think Sport would be a great spot for singers to start. And then to move up to the Trainer, if you wanted more resistance, but at $120 with parts that you apparently need to replace, this does not rank high on my wish list for that. But if this is something that is interesting to you and from the looks of it, maybe maybe possible to be purchased through your insurance, that might be an overall cheaper way to go. So there are those options. All right, so I want to show you what I actually use myself. This is a TriFlow. And now all this one does is works on your inhalation. There's not a bright an exhalation option. You don't exhale through it. The one that I use, I hope you can see it here. They're all blue. And it has the resistance right on the contraption itself. What I like about this is that you would use this with singing. So you inhale and then immediately begin singing. So this isn't something that you would use maybe to work your exhale, to work on even airflow for your exhalation. But this is certainly, for the price, an excellent option. $20, $25 is generally the most expensive I see these for, and you can purchase them as cheaply as $6.19 if you want to buy a small box of them wholesale and perhaps use them in your studio. Pretty interesting idea. While I was looking around, I also found this breathing exerciser. From what I can tell, it works extremely similarly to the Sport and somewhat similarly to the breather. That you sit there and have this contraption in your mouth. How attractive is that? And you just work on your inhalation and exhalation. That visualization was backwards. Inhalation and exhalation. And I've seen them at Sharper Image for, I think it was $49.99. So finding this one here for $18 is pretty good. I have not used it myself. I don't know of any singers who use this one particularly, but you should know your options. It might be fantastic. I don't know. The UVO rings. Everybody's talking about these. You've probably seen them on social media, Instagram. These nifty little straws are supposed to be a singer's best friend. And what I like about them is that not only are they working on improving breath, like every other item that we have here, it's also working on improving your resonance and phonation. You don't have to sing through these straws, but you can. So you can use it just as a breath exerciser, or you can use it for much more. But it does come in at a pricey $99, but the ring is rather promising. It's only $39, and how convenient to have it on your finger and just use it in a rehearsal as you go. But this one comes with a necklace, so that's pretty cool too. And not to be outdone, this all part of the straw exercises. So if you're not wanting to drop even that much money, look, you can just get straws. I don't recommend the disposable ones. We're trying to be friendly to the environment, even in this time of COVID. But you can certainly grab some of the metal ones. They're not going to be as excellent as the UVO straw. And I don't believe that the exercises that are laid out for just using a straw and blowing into a glass of milk or water necessarily allow for an inhalation exercise. That would just be exhalation, but certainly if you're wanting to work just that, you maybe don't have to buy a whole $99 straw. Maybe steal one from Wendy's. I don't know. All right, now we're getting into a couple of the less mechanical versions of what we can do. Now, singing or breathing during singing has been an issue for as long as we've been writing about singing, and that's been a long time. So as we look back through the centuries, we have all of these accounts of singers doing various smart and dumb things to improve or support their breathing, one of which is a girdle. So what I'm showing here is called the breath belt, and it's really advertised for athletes and people doing that sort of exercise where you're doing a lot of muscular work, in your abs, but isn't that singers though? And as we go down and look at the really lovely product features, we find that it actually speaks to us, the singer, pretty well. It's from enhanced breathing, enhanced diaphragmatic breathing. Singers know. Reduced back pain. Some singers have back pain from leaning back. This would help with that. Aligns hips. How much are we talking about in terms of Alexander technique and the ball and body mapping of making sure that we're lined up? This helps with that too. Train the intraocular abdominal pressure. This is how we breathe. The more we go to our pedagogy classes and our teachers are telling us about the musculature that's going on while we're breathing and singing, the more we find that it's our whole body. And so many singers for centuries have relied on what's called a girdle, I think, in the past, and now we would probably call this a breath belt. So this is most certainly an option. And the last thing I want to talk about is probably my favorite, because all these are these are all contraptions meant to enhance the workout, to build your, they are the physical part of the gym. The but we need to know how to build the breath even if we don't have these tools. And I haven't found nothing so spectacular as the breathing gym. From what I understand, this is Sam and Pat from Arizona State University. They are the brass and woodwind guys. And so what they are talking about is all put in the scope of instruments, of instrumentation, like a marching band as well. But I would say a good portion of the breathing gym that they teach is perfection. Perfection for singers. And some of the exercises that they outline in their breathing gym, in their whole thing, are the exact exercises that I use to expand my lung capacity and calm myself down right before an audition. And of course, there with that, if you need another way to practice breathing, is simply by leaning your stomach up against a stationary piece of furniture, hopefully with like a book or something, and just using your own body weight to push against while you inhale. Hopefully that makes sense. So these are all some really great options to use when you are, or to choose from, when you're considering what to add to your own vocal performance gym, to your own rehearsal space. I personally, I don't know if you saw earlier. This is mine. This is my baby. I love her. I use her probably every other day that I sing. It is a helpful reminder of, as somebody who I feel like I've got a pretty good handle on breathing, it is also one of the first things that slips. So I have my own little regiment that I use with this, and I've combined that with a lot of what I've learned from the breathing gym. And that's a little bit more about what I do. But these are some tools that you can add to your own practice routine or add to your students, to your studio full of students, to make that a little bit better for them and for you. Breathing, as a teacher, it is so hard to tell if what your student is doing is what you're telling them to do, and if you're experiencing it the same way. Using tools like this is a great way to bypass that. And if you're looking for more help on working on what you should be working on in the practice room, or breathing, or creating a practice routine, or even just getting over your fear and anxiety of walking into the practice room, go ahead and drop the word hi in the comments below and I will reach out to you. Other than that, please let me know what you think. If you use any of these, if you want to punch my microphone as well, because it's right here. My husband's a lefty, and so we have our whole area set up for him. So for all of you lefties out there who are mad that the world's set up for you, please enjoy this right-handed person struggling. So again, if you need some help with your practice routine, drop the word hi below, and if not, please let me know what you thought if you use any of these tools, and we'll talk next week. All right, have a great weekend, y'all.